And as the organization scales, the organization hits a bottleneck, and that bottleneck is management of people. You want me to go past 10, 20, 30, 40, you have to do things differently. So the purpose of this webinar is to deep dive into how to do things differently by automating your payroll process. Uh, so, right. So one of the things that we are going to cover in this particular webinar is the spreadsheet trap, which is where most businesses fall into, and also the benefit of payroll automation, and also how to maintain control. Then we look at the possible walkthrough of our payroll solution and how it can be beneficial to your business. Then we look at the case study and we'll get to have question and answers. So what I mean by the spreadsheet trap refers to like the risk and limitations businesses faced when they typically rely heavy on spreadsheets. So it's good for every business because the spreadsheet is typically where most businesses start from. They start by handling their employee records with spreadsheets, but it gets to a time when it's no longer efficient enough because things begin to break. When you look at approvals, when you look at visibility, when you look at metrics, not all those stuff can be achieved using a spreadsheet. And if you want to keep scaling your organization on that kind of system, it would introduce major overhead, major issues, major errors, within the organization. So there are different use cases for spreadsheets, and one of those use cases is in payroll, handling employees' compensation, handling employee record. It works at the beginning, but at some point, it no longer works. And we're looking at some of those different use cases that will enable, that will cause spreadsheet to break. So some of the common issues with spreadsheet is manual errors, data security risk, version control problem, and lack of scalability. When you look at some of these issues, it looks like they're not issues until you begin to scale organization, until you look at, let's say, if you're a business owner, you employ a HR person, you look at, okay, business continuity would be a concern for you. Data living in spreadsheet and be open to everyone. There is no access privilege to specific people to access specific files and specific information. So, and also manual errors, because anyone can go into the spreadsheet and edit any field or column that is not protected on that spreadsheet, it could lead to errors, and also version control problem. You cannot track changes. You cannot look at the changes that have happened over time. So those are the key things that plague handling employee record and payroll on spreadsheet. So, and all these things, it rolls down to the cost at the end of the day is time. Do you want to spend your time fixing errors? Do you want to spend your time with compliance risk? Do you want to it impact employee trust, which is the most critical part of running a business or managing a team? Trust is easy to gain, but difficult, but easy to lose. So with a spreadsheet, it's good at the initial stage, but as your organization scales, it's good to look at some of these key issues, which I know that many people on this call are experiencing, because if you're not having issues or in one way or other with your current process, you will not be on this call. And that's why I really appreciate anyone who have taken up their time to get on this call to learn a better approach to handling payroll without spreadsheets. So just to proceed, so typically, like I mentioned, it's normal, it's okay to start with spreadsheet. But when do you now know that it is time to go above spreadsheet and look for other solutions out there that can be able to automate your business processes? Now, typically, as a HR person or a finance person, even a business owner that doesn't even have a HR or a finance team, when you realize that I know of every month you spend more than 5 hours a month trying to handle payroll and it not be automatic, you know that you need to transition. When payroll as well, when there is recurring errors, and when you look at employee onboarding, when it's difficult to onboard employees, maybe when you're trying to hire a new employee, you have to probably send them a form. They have to fill that form, send it back to you, and back and forth, emails, conversation. You know that it's time to actually automate your process. So, and also when you look at as organization skills, look at tasty generation. Most people on this call may be using some tools here and there to generate payslip. Every time employee wants to request a payslip, they have to send an email to you. When they send that email to you, you have to go and generate the payslip. You have to now look at the previous record, use that to generate payslip. That's a lot of work you have to be doing every month, and it can sometimes consume your time. So if you spending time on strategic things, you spend time generating payslips. You know. So another thing as well is when you look at juggling multiple sheets. Now, when you have different sheets, different records, can they talk to one another? So that is some of the gaps you begin to see. And above all, I know that most people that actually use spreadsheet to handle their payroll have to sometimes rely on using internet banking to disburse salary payment. Once that the profit has gone out, the system doesn't automatically generate payslip for you. You know, through the transfer goes, but you don't have a singular record of how or those transactions that have been made that you can easily see at a glance. And also statutory compliance as well. So you realize that you have to also handle this as well manually. So when you begin to see some of these things happen, and even more happen in your business or on your role, you know, as a HR person or a finance person, it's a concern that you need to start thinking. I know that is the reason why some people are on this call to figure out a better way to handle this entire process, which is the payroll process. So now let's look at payroll automation. You know, payroll automation is about using smart software and tools to manage your payroll stacks with minimal manual input. So I've gone through some of the issues that you can always encounter while using spreadsheets. Now, when you adopt a payroll solution that will automate the entire process, when it has to do with salary computation, it will happen automatically because the system has been built in such a way that once you input your employee gross and have configured the allowances you want, everything is computed. Payee is also computed. Pension is also computed automatically. You don't have to deal with. You don't have to go to a situation where there is an error in the formula and it will not impact the output of your computation. When it has to do with payslip generation as well. So this system also includes payslip generation. So every time you run payroll, payslip is generated automatically, and your employees are notified automatically as well. You can go there and download that payslip every time. When they want the payslip, they don't have to come and reach out to you and say, they want the payslip. They just go on the portal because they will have an employee self-service portal to go to and download their payslip. Also, salary disbursement is very, very easy because it lives in the same environment where your employee record can easily be used to generate a payment schedule for their salary payment. So everything comes into one platform. So you don't have to see a situation where you have to handle the salary computation with spreadsheets. Once you have fully done that, you now transfer figures into another sheet that you need to now upload into your internet banking. That entire three-step process will be totally eliminated. You just need to onboard, system automatically computes everything, and you just need to create a payment schedule and that payment. The system gets the net salary of all employees and creates a schedule and make it ready for you to just approve and payment get disbursed. So this is a much more cleaner way that I always encourage every small business that is, at least if you have above 5 employees, you know, you need to start thinking of how you can actually start putting in some of these things, you know, so that it can help the business grow and create more transparency and make it easy for you, even as a business owner or a HR person, as the organization grows, for you to be able to delegate. You know, you can't delegate on a broken system. So it's very, very important to put some of these things in place. Now, so I think I've pretty much touched most of this, which is what is the benefit of payroll automation? It will improve accuracy, you know, it will also improve efficiency. You'll be able to cut time in handling things manually. Also, transparency, be able to have full overview. So if you're a business owner, you'll be able to see what is happening on the system, you'll be able to see what your finance people are doing, you'll be able to have a full better view of what's happening, without even losing control. And also it make you stay compliant, you know. And also at the end of the day, everything will now impact employee satisfaction, because when you can quickly handle your payroll process, onboarding, employees are happy at the end of the day. So those are the key benefits that payroll automation provides. So I know that some people might be wondering, I'm going to lose control. The fear of switching is a common problem that people have. They are scared of losing control. They are scared of, or they are locked in the correct way they handle things. They are afraid of learning a new platform. You know, they are also scared that the software might not be able to handle some unique use cases for their business. You know, they're also scared of migration. You know, how they would migrate the data to new solution. So I'm here to say that you don't have to be scared about all these things, because an automated system has been built such a way that it can be able to adapt to any of your use case. You know, in terms of control, you won't lose control, because there is an approval process, right? So if you want your team member to create a payment schedule and you need to approve on it before the payment goes out, such kind of infrastructure is in place to take control of that. You have full visibility as to what is happening. You know, migration of data is very, very easy. In fact, our onboarding is so fast that in minutes, an employee can get onboarded without any administrative burden from your end. You know, and also when you have to do with, how will I learn this new platform? Do I need to be trained? Yes, you can request to be trained, but the platform has been built in such a way that it's very, very intuitive. You can easily figure things out in 1-2 clicks. You can get things done. It's built for beginners, you know, and targeted. Even if you're a large organization, we look at complexities and break things down, you know. So some of these fears are some of the things that are holding people back from switching, you know. But the truth is this: the moment you take that bold step to switch from a spreadsheet to automated system, you would really be grateful that you actually did it and live above some of these fears. So typically, there's always the myth and there's the reality. The reality is that you will not lose control, right? Which is you access to a dashboard, audit trail, and approval workflow, like I mentioned. You know, human error is drastically reduced automatically, and you can implement different use cases, whether you want to make a deduction on an employee salary due to suspension or a penalty. You can create correlations for those kind of scenarios. You know, if you want to handle expense management for an employee, do reimbursement, all those different scenarios can also be handled. So it's very, very robust in such a way that will enable you to handle various use cases as the case may be. So, like I mentioned before, you are fully in control while still automating your process. And these controls exist around the approval workflow, seamless onboarding. You're able to also have different roles you can assign to different people in the organization. And you have full activity log of what is happening, audit trail of who is doing what and what's happening on the platform. Then you can also have custom rules for bonuses, reduction, taxes, and excellent reporting as well, you know. So that's really some of the key things that I always encourage people to take advantage of as long as they're ready to transition. So maybe towards the end of the platform, I would run through a quick demo of our platform just to give you a feel of how everything is. So many businesses have transitioned from spreadsheets into our solution. You know, we have so many customers across Nigeria. Most of even of our customers are in diaspora. They have businesses back in Nigeria, and they have adopted our solution for managing their workforce. And this is a typical scenario of a school. You know, like I mentioned, it can apply to any business. It could be fintech, it could be manufacturing. There is no limit of sector that we have on our platform. So regardless of your sector, as long as you are managing your employee your workforce, you can actually use a solution to achieve that particular goal. So they were able to initially they had above 50 plus employees. We were using spreadsheet, and the situation of this particular organization was that at the time they had to send this schedule directly to the bank to process salary, which meant that by weekends they couldn't actually process salary payments. It has to happen within the working day. So by the time they adopted our solution, they were even able to pay salaries on weekend because there is no time frame in which you can use our platform. So 7 days a week, 247, we are up. So even if you want to process salary on a weekend, you can actually do it on the weekend. If you want to process salary at night, you can do it at the night. So also, whenever you trigger the payroll to run, instantly you start disbursing salaries to employees. So there is no time limit. So at the time when they came to us and we onboarded them, the efficiency within the organization drastically improved. And within 6 months, they're seeing results, improving. So those are some of the benefits that you yourself can also gain and also get into your own organization. So typically people always ask questions because we get a lot of questions, we get many discovery calls, demo calls, and people keep asking, is our platform compliant with the new tax law? The answer is yes, we are compliant. As of January 2026, we went live with an upgrade to ensure that our platform is compliant and we're able to remit tax to the state government. Also, we handle payee and we also handle pension. People also ask the minimum number of employees. There is no limit to the number of employees you can onboard, depending on the capability that you want from the platform, because there are different plans. So for those who are interested, I will encourage you to at least come for a demo so that we have a personalized one-on-one demo for you to see how the platform works in there, because we'll not be able to cover everything, on this particular call. This call is the purpose of the webinar is to give you a bird's eye view of what's capable, what's possible, solution that can be used to transition you from using spreadsheet into payroll automation. So in terms of integration with other tools, your business tools, for instance, let's say you are using an accounting software, let's say Zoho Books or QuickBooks. One interesting thing about our platform is that it connects to some of these accounting tools. And a typical use case for that is, let's say you run payroll and you want to record that particular payroll schedule as an expense on accounting software. Can connect your Zoho Books or QuickBooks to our platform and automatically sync that record so that you don't have to always worry about keeping your books up to date. So imagine having an employee of 50, and you have to now make single entries for those employees as expense for their salary. That's a lot of work on the finance side of things. But our system handles that in seconds. It does the sync, and you're able to have those entire records migrated onto your accounting software. I know the accounting guys in call will be very happy about this. So the platform is also responsive. It enables you to use it on mobile, on desktop. You can also create custom workflows depending on how large the organization is. And our pricing model is very, very transparent. If you go on our website, you will see our pricing model, and it's something that is very, very transparent. So those are some of the key benefits, that you can get from automating your payroll process. So I don't know if we have any question. Do you have anyone? If you have any question, you could probably unmute your mic and ask question. I'm open to answer the question from anyone.
So for those that have questions, raise your hands, use raise hand button, or drop your question in the message box so that we can attend to it promptly.
All right. So let me probably take a step further to give a quick walkthrough of the platform and show you how it works. If you want more in-depth demo session, everyone after this call will get an email to schedule a demo call with us. You could just schedule a demo call, get on the call, and we would drill deep into some of the different use cases and questions you may have if you are not open to share it on this call due to privacy reasons. But it's okay. So this is our platform, right? I've just logged in. So every business that intend to use our platform would have to register and will be given access to this particular platform. So typically, when you want to onboard your employees, you manage your entire workforce directly from here, from this employees model. So onboarding employees is very, very simple, and there are two different ways in which you can do the onboarding. The first one is self-onboarding via link. Second one is individual onboarding. Third one is the bulk onboarding. So this first option is typically let's say you have your employee email, you just input their email and send them an invite. Once you send them an invite, they will see the notification and they can now complete the form. Once they complete that form, what this does is it from you. Instead of you trying to input their information, they just provide those information for you, and you just have to approve it, and they will be onboarded as an employee. So this is also very quick in terms of onboarding employees as quick as possible onto the platform. That is the first option. Second option is the traditional one where you just have to just provide those information here and add them as an employee, right? The third one is you just download our a spreadsheet. Maybe if you want to transition from a spreadsheet into our platform, this migration is something that most organizations also use. So this migration is very, very simple. You just download this template, transfer the record there, and you upload. Then subsequently, you could now use the invite to now invite them to the platform. And this invite is the most biggest part because you just send the invite out, they provide those information, send it back to you, you approve, and they're onboarded. Now, once they're onboarded, all your employee record is now on the cloud and they all live in this platform. Now, you can now manage their records. So if you want to make an update to their record, even if an employee leaves an organization, that record is backed up here. You just need to deactivate them and you still have a reference to their record. You don't have to worry about a previous spreadsheet that you store that particular information. So everything is nicely kept here. Their pension, RSAP, tax date, tax ID, everything is properly kept here. Then compensation, you can handle their commission from here, put their annual gross, want to apply payee, pension, MHF, health insurance. The system automatically computes everything for you, gives you a
Hello,
breakdown.
Mujahid.
Who is talking?
Yeah, how you doing? Oh, I just sent a message to your WhatsApp. The mail you sent to NCMI,
It's
I'm not
coming.
sure you
Please, can
attached
you mute
the
your
evidence.
mic? Thank you.
All right. So yeah, so for proration, let's say you want to make deductions to employee salary, you can apply prorations here, and effect it on their pay. Everything happens automatically. Then 13th month, you can effect it here. If you want to handle reimbursement for specific allowances, that setup can happen from here. Then our system gives the ability to be able to handle allowance breakdown. You're able to see allow, and all these are highly configurable. From something we call the pay structure. You can define your pay structure, and the system uses that pay structure to compute the employee breakdown. End to end. So also when you apply deductions, they show up here. So let's say, for instance, I want to affect this and this, and I save changes, and I go back here, you will see that it has computed it automatically for me, standard, right? Then when it has to do with payment method, which is how this employee gets paid. So the payment method typically is the bank account. That information can be added here as well. You can add employee's bank account here, put everything. The system validates that this employee account in terms of, let's say, you put uh, So it validates and ensures that this is the actual employee, right? And this is their account, and they won't make payment to the wrong account. So also, when you have to do with payslip, every time an employee is paid, payslip is automatically generated, and you can see the payslip of the employee here. And they also have the ability to download this payslip as well. Employee can see it from their own self-service, and you as well can see it and can also download it from here. If in the case you want to send the employee. So that is how you can be able to manage each employee's record. Everything is backed up here nicely. So if let's say you want to perform a couple of bulk operations, you can handle multiple employee updates directly from this particular platform here. So I mentioned pay structure, which is the ability for you to be able to handle the breakdown of employee allowances. Everything can be set up nicely from here, you know. So classification of employee, we have to do with pay level, pay scale, position, department, branches. You can use this to classify and categorize employees, you know. Let's say you are an organization that actually handles, you pay employees hourly. You can handle that adjustments of hours based on from this particular pay adjustment. You can handle the adjustments from here. So let me quickly go through the payroll side of things when it has to do with payment. So payment is easy because the platform has centralized employee onboarding, compensation, computation, and now payment in one platform. You don't have to juggle things. Everything just happens seamlessly in a singular flow, whereby you just have to click on create payment. Let's say you want to create payment for July. You just go and select the month of July, select the wallet, and you also select necessary, and you click on continue. Once you click on continue, the system looks at all the employees who are eligible, brings out that information, and shows you a breakdown of all of them. Let's say you want to pay for only these 2 employees, you just select them. If you want to pay for everything, just go ahead and create the payment schedule. Once it's created, it moves it into a draft state. It doesn't disburse immediately, you know, because at this level, if there are multiple people that need to approve, you can also introduce an approval workflow for this. Now, you can also see a breakdown of the employees in the schedule. You can also go back and you can also see, let's say you want to approve this payment, you can go here and click on approve, right? So you see the approval. So if you have configured different approvals, you will see the breakdown of all those approvals, and everybody has to just approve. Once you get to the final approval, a person approves, the payment disbursement will immediately start happening. So these approvals can be configured on the platform. So the configuration for the approvals happens here, whereby you can configure approval for virtually everything that you can think of on the platform and define people who you want them to approve, assign delegates who can always stand on their behalf in case they're not available. And also you can even apply it directly to specific criteria. Let's say you want to apply this particular workflow to a specific branch. You can apply it and define the branch directly here, or a partner or wherever. So those are the flexibilities that exist on the platform, whereby you're able to onboard, you're able to compute, and you're also able to pay out, handle salary payment, handle tax remittances, and also handle pension remittance from one central platform. You can see that with this scenario, everything I've explained end to end, you see that spreadsheet is fully eliminated at the point when you onboard employees to the platform. So some people might be wondering, oh, how would the payment happen? How would payment be processed and disbursed? So we currently have about 5 partner banks, which we ride on to fulfill payment disbursement to any bank in Nigeria. So typically, when you're onboarded as a business, your wallet will be created for you. Now, once that wallet is created, it's from this wallet that payment will be disbursed. So any of our partner bank, you can be onboarded onto them, and you have to now transfer the fund you want to use for salary or pension or tax payment into this particular account. Once you transfer it, in seconds, the money would reflect directly on your balance, and you could now make disbursement directly from this wallet. It makes it easy for us to be able to move money because they typically don't have access to your corporate account. The money has to be moved into the wallet that has been created for your business in your business name in order for us to now process payment. So that is how you can handle this when it has to do with this. So there are other modules here as well, which if you're interested to probably explore other modules, we also have team management. You can invite other team members. It could be HR, it could be super admin into the platform to also collaborate, whereby you as a business owner can also have full visibility into what they're doing, or a head of HR, as the case may be. So you can also invite team members there. So there are other modules that if you're interested, we could book a demo call and we could drill deep into some of these other features and capabilities our platform have. But I'll just quickly run through it, which is we also have leave management. We also have, I remember I mentioned that with integrations. So we have integrations with different platforms, Zoho Books, we have with QuickBooks. You can sync record directly to one of these accounting softwares. So you can also manage pay advance. You can also handle expenses. So let's say employees within your organization incur expenses. Maybe it could be sales, it could be marketing. They can create expense requests here, and those expenses they have made can be also be reimbursed back to them. Also requisitions, maybe you also want to handle, maybe employees make requisitions for different things. They can also request either those particular requests here, and it can be processed directly from our platform as well. So let's say you have different assets that you assign to employees. You can set up those assets here, manage everything from this central platform. And let's say you assign employees laptop, phones, and all that. When they leave, you have to recover those items from them because it's your company property. You know, this will enable you to also handle and assign different assets into so that you can track them, so that you won't forget. And some organizations handle this in spreadsheets. You realize that when an employee is leaving, you don't even know unless you go there and check. But the system automatically notify you once that employee is being off-boarded that you need to recover specific items from them, and you're not always caught off guard. So as well, we also have something called end-wage access, which is extremely crucial for employees. So typically, we are in an environment where there is devaluation of the purchasing power. So we provide end-wage access directly to employees, whereby employees can request for a portion of the salary they have earned for a number of days. You know, our platform handles that payout. Then at the point when you will be paying their salaries, we would now deduct that particular amount of money from the employee's salary before it's paid to them. So and everything is tracked neatly and nicely on the platform for you. So also benefits management, you can pay out data bundle and all from the platform or airtime. Let's say you normally give out internet data to employees to work. For those who are working remotely, you can also make that payout directly from here. So all this has been centralized, you know, to make it easy for you as a business owner, as a HR professional, as a finance person, to be able to automate your entire process, manage your workforce, and be much more efficient. You know, efficiency is very, very important. In the age of AI, you need to be fast. If you're not fast at the business, you're losing time. You know, so that is it. So if you have any questions, please ask. For now, the floor is still open for questions for those who have questions. Thank you. Yeah, Victor, over to you.
Okay. So, like you said the floor is still open for questions. If you have any question, please do ask. And I would like to ask on my end, Mr. Michel, will there be a recording of this session available for those that want to go back to it?
Yes. So we would upload it to YouTube and send out a link to everyone as well. Can go there and watch it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So We're still looking in the chat box for questions. And if you are still stewing over your questions, like we mentioned, there would be another link sent that would give everyone here the opportunity to book a free demo session where you can go deeper on certain features that either caught your eye or you have questions about. So if there are no questions, I think that we have come to the end of this webinar session. I would expect that everyone here learns something valuable, especially those that it concerns the most. HR officers, account officers, even employees. Many employees would benefit a lot from the features on the platform. And for people that have headaches managing different payroll and different spreadsheets, files and folders, this is a very easy solution. So like I said, without any questions, we'll be drawing this webinar to a close. And for everybody that attended and signed up, you should be expecting an email with a recap and another email giving you the opportunity to dive deeper. Thank you very much for your time. Until next webinar, have a good day.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for joining.